Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Sharingan Naruto has Harem with Hinata and Temari Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. As the thunderstorms hit the village, most of the people were inside their homes safe away, except for one child. Naruto Uzumaki, the black sheep of the village, blamed for the thousands of deaths, shivered in cold as he walked the empty streets of Konoha. As the winds blew violently, a homeless boy stood in a merciless storm. Kicked out of the orphanage by a disgruntled caretaker, the boy held no place in Konoha. No one cared much for the boy as he struggled to survive, except for Sarutobi Hiruzen, the third Hokage of Konoha, who watched over the boy as he was his own. As Naruto walked, he noticed that some food was available to get and grab. "I don't usually steal, Ibeo, but I am hungry," expressed the tired blonde as his hunger growled in desperation for food. As Naruto tried to grab some food to take, a strange man walked towards him. "Hello little boy, do you need help getting home?" expressed the silver-haired Junin as he happened to stumble across our cold hungry blonde. "No, I have no home, I'm just getting some food, thank you. Besides, I can take care of myself," half-smiled Naruto. "Are you sure you are all right?" asked the worried Junin. "Yeah, so laters," and Naruto ran off to the nearest place only to find himself near the Uchiha compound. Wow, this place is huge but it seems too empty. As Naruto decided to walk through the building, noticing the darkness surrounding the Uchiha compound. As Naruto walked towards the main house, he heard a boy screaming in pain. "Hey, are you all right? I'll go help Dadbeo," yelled Naruto as he ran into the room only to find the dead bodies of Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Makoto. "What is all this?" shook a frightened Naruto. "Hello Naruto-san, enjoy my little display I had left," coldly asked Itachi. "Why did kill your parents?" asked Naruto, confused and slightly scared. "Because he's a jerk," yelled Sasuke in fear due to the Tsukuyomi being used on him as he ran off. As Itachi was about to follow his little brother, Naruto stepped in. "I don't care how strong you are, Itachi-san, or how you know me, but I will defeat you, Dadbeo," yelled the little blonde as he took his stand. Itachi smirked, slightly impressed with the blonde's courage. "I see no fear in you, well then I guess I'll take my leave due to my little brother calling for help." As Itachi walked away, he looked back at Naruto near the door. "I hope we meet again, young Naruto. I would like to battle you when you have gotten stronger. Oh, and by the way, I would like to give you a gift." "A gift?" Naruto asked, very confused as to why this criminal would give him a gift. Itachi nodded and knocked Naruto out before quickly operating on the boy using his father's eyes. "Don't make me regret giving you the Sharingan, Naruto-san," expressed Itachi as he walked away. A few hours later, as the Anbu and Kakashi arrived, they noticed the whole place was full of dead bodies. They bowed their heads in respect until they heard one of the men. "Captain Kakashi, we found the Jinchuriki on the floor with Sasuke Uchiha's parents," expressed the cat Anbu as they rushed to see Naruto on the floor. "Take him to the hospital and report this to the Hokage. Sasuke and Naruto must have witnessed some horrific events tonight. Hope they don't lose their sanity," sighed the silver-haired Anbu captain. Little did they notice that Naruto's right eye began to glow a little. As Naruto came into consciousness, he swore he could hear voices that said to save their son or something like that, but as Naruto came to, he saw the Hokage looking down at him. "GGW, where am I?" "You're at the hospital, Naruto. Why were you at the Uchiha's compound?" asked Sarutobi in concern. "Well, I thought this guy who had silver-haired caught me stealing some food and I thought I was in trouble, so I ran, and when I got to Sasuke's house I heard him scream in pain, and next thing I know I saw 2 dead bodies," shivered the blonde in fright. "I see. Well, did anything else happen?" questioned the Hokage. "Well, I challenged Itachi-san to a fight," as Naruto scratched his head trying to remember the rest. Sarutobi was in complete shock. A little boy with no skills challenging a easy Junin-leveled shinobi to a fight. "Naruto, you know that was very dangerous." "I know, but I just couldn't let my friend suffer because of his bastard brother. I had to do something," yelled the blonde. "Naruto, you really are something. So where's Sasuke?" wondered Naruto. "Oh, Sasuke's in the next." As soon as the words next came out of the Hokage's mouth, Naruto springed from his bed and ran off to see his somewhat friend. Sasuke stood in shock and horror, the images not coming out of his head of what he had seen, only to be interrupted by Naruto. "Hey Sasuke, how ya feeling?" smiled the blonde. Sasuke just stood quiet, staring at Naruto like his world had ended. "Hey Sasuke, you know you still have a brother left, right?" "Who? My family is dead," expressed Sasuke coldly. "Well, I could be like your family and be your brother," smirked Naruto. "Brother? No, but he defended me against Itachi even though he knew that Itachi was too powerful. Why would you want to be my brother? All I am is weak." "That's not true. It's just we're young, we still have time to get stronger, and together we will get stronger. What do you say?" As Naruto placed his hand in front of Sasuke. "Okay." As he shook Naruto, not realizing what the world was about to see. Sarutobi sighed in his window, puffing his smoke as he stared at the clouds. It had been 5 years since the Uchiha massacre, and the entire village was in fear. The fear, ironically, was that there was only one Uchiha. Sasuke was left and needed to be given the CRA, or in other words the Clan Restoration Act, or else lose the Sharingan forever. How these villagers worshipped the bloodline limits. Sarutobi chuckled, for what he had found out may shock and put the entire village into massive fear and panic to hear what he found out. Naruto Uzumaki, container of the Kyuubi no Yuko, possessed the Sharingan. Oh, how the council would react to creating him into a weapon for the village. Flashback. It was another day in the life of Naruto. After pranking some Hyugas, he decided to walk home. As Naruto walked, he noticed 2 Chunins following him, and so he decided to pace his walk. While Naruto tried to run, he tripped over his feet, only to see 2 men with evil intentions in their minds. "What do you want? Why are you following me?" "Well, demon, you see we can't just have you walking around when you have killed so many of our people," snorted the brown-haired Chunin. I didn't kill anybody." "Silence. We will not listen to your lies. Now time to pay for what you have done." Warning: the next part may be gruesome. I advise to turn away unless you like a piece of pie. As Naruto tried to run, the Chunin who had 2 scars underneath his eyes used a paralyzing potion to stop Naruto. The other Chunin launched 2 kunais at Naruto's legs, causing him to cry in pain. "Oh, don't worry, demon, you can still feel the pain. We wouldn't want to have you miss out on the fun," smirked the scared Chunin. "Ready, Juzin?" "Oh, I'm ready, Tylan, to kill a demon, that is," as the 2 advanced towards the helpless boy. While Naruto tried to struggle his body to awaken, one of the Chunin grabbed a steel pipe and smacked Naruto across the face, causing his nose to instantaneously bleed from his nose and to lose a tooth. Please, I didn't do," but was cut off as the Chunin slashed across his face with his kunai as blood spilled out of his forehead. In the nearby area, Maida Guy had been taking a nice exercise stroll, only to find what was going on. "Yush, what is the meaning of this most unyouthful attack?" yelled the Junin green beast of Konoha. "This stupid demon tried to attack us and we were just defending ourselves," yelled the brown-haired Chunin, who pointed at the dark-colored bloody face of Naruto. "I do not buy such unyouthful excuses, for that boy looks helpless, so you both are under arrest," expressed Guy as he prepared his stance to fight. The slight look of fear passed through the Chunin, but disappeared rather quickly as the 2 readied themselves for a fight. 2 against 1, we have the upper hand, Guy, laughed Tylan. "I suggest you guess again," said a voice in the shadows of the night as he appeared to stood behind the 2 Chunin traitors. "Yo," was all Kakashi expressed, waving to Guy. "If it isn't my youthful rival, have you come here to help me defeat these dastardly foes?" "You know I am Guy," sighed the silver-haired Junin. "All right, I surrender," kneeled the red-headed Chunin, who looked frightened. "Juzin, what the hell are you doing?" asked Tylan as he whipped out his kunai. "It's 2 Chunin against 2 Junin, we have no chance," sighed the red-head man. As the 2 were taken away by the Anbu for interrogation, Kakashi walked towards Naruto until the boy woke up. "Ah, my eye, it hurts badly," yelled Naruto in exasperation as he grabbed his right eye. "What's wrong with your eye?" slightly worried asked Kakashi. "It burns, Kakashi-senpai, it's like it's doing something on its own," was the last words that Naruto expressed before he fell unconscious in pain. "Guy, go and check on Naruto's place and see if it's alright." "Yush, I shall do that, or else do 1000. Just go, Guy," yelled the frustrated lazy nin. As Kakashi took Naruto to the hospital, he noticed the eye spinning and his right blue eye was transforming into a dark spiraling. No way, it seems Naruto has the Sharingan, but how could he have it? He's not an Uchiha unless it was the fox who infused it on Naruto. I better talk to the Hokage about this, thought Kakashi as he saw the Sharingan stop spinning and return to his normal eye. Sarutobi had rushed to be near the boy who he thought of as his own grandson, only to see Kakashi reading his Ika while leaning against a slight brown wall. Kakashi, what happened to Naruto? Asked a bewildered Hokage. It's a long story, but I'll try to recall everything, as Kakashi explained the tragedy of Naruto's assault. After Kakashi was done, Hiruzen just sighed. Would they ever give Naruto a chance to prove he's no monster? So what are we going to do about Naruto's Kekkei Genkai? Asked Kakashi in a bored tone. Kakashi-kun, what do you mean? Naruto has a Kekkei Genkai? Asked Sarutobi in a surprised and confused look at Kakashi. Yep, and it's something we all know. Here, let me show you. While the Hokage just stared, Kakashi touched the forehead of Naruto with his middle and index finger, only to have Naruto's Sharingan flare up, causing the Hokage to stare in amazement. Naruto has the Sharingan. Yes, but I don't know how he gained it. Either A. Kyuubi manipulated his own chakra to create it, though I doubt it, or B. Someone must have implanted the eye onto Naruto, but I don't understand how his eye looks normal, wondered the Silver Junin with a slight frown. Well, we will have to ask Naruto about it. For now we must let him rest. End flashback. Sarutobi knew that the Sharingan was a very powerful Kekkei Genkai, and to possess such power with a demon's abilities, Naruto could ultimately be the most powerful shinobi in the elemental nations. He could only hope the boy would not use his powers to destroy the Hidden Leaf Village. Meanwhile, with Naruto and Sasuke, these two had actually acted like brothers, fighting in public, sparring, and even Sasuke allowed Naruto to stay in his house, seeing that it was empty. Yo, Sasuke! Yelled the blonde as he ran towards his brother. Hey Naruto, what's up? Asked the raven-haired Uchiha with his hand in his pockets. Well, I need some help with kunai throwing. I seem to have terrible aim, chuckled Naruto in embarrassment. Dobi, you should practice some more on it instead of going pranking all the time, sighed Sasuke. Hey, I'm not becoming a shinobi to be all-knowing, I'm becoming a ninja so that I can protect all my loved ones, even teams such as yourself, shouted the blonde. Sasuke and Naruto had become brothers throughout their years. A few curse words shouted between them, a scuffle here and there, but in the end they would watch each other's backs. So I see Sasuke and Naruto are getting along nicely, chuckled a shadowy figure in the trees. Who's there? Show yourself or else, as Naruto grabbed his kunai ready to attack if necessary. Now, no need to be so hasty with that kunai, Mr. Shinobi, chuckled Kakashi as he neatly landed on bright green grass of the Uchiha compound. Kakashi-senpai, what are you doing here? Questioned Sasuke. Well, I heard about how you need training in activating your Sharingan, so I'm here to help. Kakashi lazily explained. Well, how are you going to help Sasuke-tem with that? You don't have the Sharingan, stated the confused blonde. Actually, began to explain the Junin as he lowered his face mask only to show the Sharingan to the boys. I do possess such a thing, smirked the silver-haired nin. How did you come in contact with the Sharingan? You're not an Uchiha, are you? Asked Naruto in shock and awe. No, I'm not Naruto, but I'm not the only one that's not an Uchiha who possesses this power. Who else dares to steal my family's power? Growled Sasuke. Well, actually, Naruto possessed this power too, nervously chuckled Kakashi. Nani? Yelled both Naruto and Sasuke at the same time. Yes, you see, Naruto, somehow your power was implemented to you. Now I don't know how you gained it, but all I know is you have the Sharingan, and therefore both of you will be trained by me. Sasuke stared at Naruto in anger, feeling betrayed by the one he thought he could trust. Wait, Sasuke, I remember that night of the massacre, Itachi told me something about a gift. A gift? Curiously asked Kakashi. Yeah, he said he was going to give me a gift but then knocked me out, and then I don't remember the rest. Naruto squinted, trying to figure why Itachi would give him the Sharingan. Sorry Naruto, I thought you were trying to use me for power, sadly explained for his staring angrily at Naruto. It's alright, I would be suspicious too, I mean everyone regards the power of the Sharingan highly, chuckled Naruto while scratching his head. Alright, now that drama is settled, we will begin Sharingan training for the next few months before you two go back to the academy. Alright, yelled the two excited brothers as their new powers would change the world, not noticing a shadowy figure spying on them a few hundred feet away. Do not disappoint Naruto, for I expect a grand battle between you and I, and foolish little brother, try not to get yourself killed, whispered an ex-nin before disappearing into the shadows of the forest. It had been 3 months since Sasuke and Naruto had left for their training with Kakashi Hatake. Now at 13 years old, Sasuke had the light brown shorts and wore a black hoodie, but the change people would notice is that he had cut his hair slightly shorter and gotten rid of the chicken hair Naruto would dub as a rooster's, and had finally released his Sharingan after a spar with Naruto. Flashback. It was known that Kakashi had been a prodigy before the Third Great War, but what nobody had found out about him was that he had a really intense training regiment. That is until Sasuke and Naruto were taken under his wing. Come on Naruto and Sasuke, let's keep climbing, shouted Kakashi as he looked down from the top of the mountain to see two fatigued kids. Hey, we don't have the stamina like you do, Kakashi-sensei. A frustrated Naruto said. I thought you wanted to become Hokage. Naruto, a Hokage must be strong and able to overcome any obstacle, but if you can't. What, nobody underestimates me. TTEBO, you'll see I'll climb this stupid rock, as Naruto began to speed up his climbing. He's easy to trick, smirked the silver-haired Junin under his mask. After nearly 3 hours of climbing, Naruto and Sasuke collapsed on the floor gasping for air after non-stop training. Well, you see, now that wasn't so bad, was it? Sarcastically asked Kakashi. What the hell do you mean it wasn't bad? We didn't even get a break. I swear this felt like a punishment, expressed Naruto as he rubbed his arms due to the soreness. Well, Kakashi-sensei, what was that training for? Questioned Sasuke, still tired from the non-stop climbing exercise. Now that is a great question, Sasuke. It is necessary for a shinobi to have both mental and physical strength than just having fancy jutsus. For both of you to succeed in the shinobi world, you both need to find a secondary strength that you can rely on in case they take your favorite weapon away. So for now, Naruto, Sasuke, I want you to spar with each other, lazily expressed Kakashi as he sunshined it towards a tree as he pulled out his favorite orange book to read. The two soon-to-be shinobi walked past each other until they were face to face only a few feet away. Dobi, are you ready to get a beat down of your life? Smirked the last Uchiha as he tried to push Naruto's buttons. Shut the hell up and let's do this, chuckled Naruto as he set his fighting stance by spreading his feet a few inches apart. As Naruto charged, Sasuke leapt into the air only for the blonde shinobi to slide into the ground and pushed off the dirt, doing a back kick to Sasuke's head. While not noticing, Naruto landed on the ground with a smirk only for the Uchiha to wrap him in a bear hug. Shishi Renden, lion combo, yelled Sasuke as he used his right leg to knock Naruto into the ground. After a long time of silence, Sasuke walked towards the massive crater that Naruto created, smirking at his victory over his brother. Sorry Naruto, but you have to realize that I was a pretty decent taijutsu fighter, so you shouldn't have. But before he could finish the sentence, a spiral came at him at full force, knocking him 200 feet away from the crater into the trees. As I've told Kakashi-sensei, don't underestimate me, TTEBO, because I have a few tricks up my sleeve, gasped Naruto. As Naruto walked away, Sasuke slowly stood up only to reveal that his Sharingan eyes had been activated. Hey, your Sharingan has been activated, rooster, yelled the hyperactive blonde. Sasuke gave Naruto a cold stare before he turned to Kakashi, who was slowly and lazily walking towards them. Yo, good job Sasuke. Naruto, you both seem to have potential to be great. Now one request for you, Naruto. Yeah, what is it, Kakashi-sensei? Curiously asked Naruto. I believe you could become an all-around great shinobi, and therefore I suggest to find more Junin teachers to train you. I could get a few of them to teach you if you like. Dadbeo, that sounds awesome. I would like to get better at taijutsu and genjutsu due to the fact Sasuke Tem here surpasses me in it, thoughtfully answered the blonde as he pointed to the Uchiha. Kakashi-sensei, why is Naruto getting the more training? Shouldn't we both? Asked a confused Sasuke. As Kakashi thought of a way to lie to both, he just figured to answer without answering completely. Well, Sasuke, since Naruto was little, He was gifted with high amount of chakra close to Junin level, and since we've trained for a few weeks now it should be now near to Kage. Smiled lightly Kakashi. Kage level, shouted both Naruto and Sasuke. Yep, so Naruto needs to do double the work in order for him to become a great shinobi. Aw man, well that means that I'll become greater than any Hokage we've had, expressed Naruto as his smile grew big to realize his possibilities. Sasuke looked slightly hurt and offended to hear that he would be in the shadow of Naruto. Sasuke, don't worry, we'll both be the best that we can become. I wouldn't be upset if you were to surpass me, stated Naruto as he patted Sasuke on the back. Naruto, you really are a good friend, a good brother. Yeah Naruto, and I won't be mad if you surpass me, smiled Sasuke as he shook Naruto's hand. Ah, how nice. Well, on to the next training, tree climbing exercise. A few weeks later, Naruto and Sasuke had progressed magnificently as both of them had mastered the tree climbing exercise and meditation. Naruto no longer was hyperactive and was showing to be a true hidden gem of Konoha. Sasuke was proving his hype with his amazing ninjutsu abilities. They had encountered one problem, and that was Naruto's Sharingan had become like Kakashi's, in which he could no longer be free with his eyes, or else self-activation on someone innocent could get used upon, so Naruto had to use one of Kakashi's mask. Yo, Kakashi-sensei, we're done learning how to active the Sharingan, so now what? Asked a bored Naruto as he placed his arms around his head. Kakashi thought for a moment before he decided to allow them a new technique. Well, I guess I could teach you one technique I know, but remember this is only to use against enemy shinobi in battle, not in competitions or against a Konoha ally. Do you both understand? Sternly asked Kakashi, eyeing both the boys. We understand, sensei. Bowed Naruto and Sasuke. Good, well, this technique is called the Chidori and it's a very deadly attack. Basically you use your Sharingan to compress and power up a lightning attack. Here, let me show you, expressed Kakashi as he hand-sealed the jutsu before pressing one hand over the other as a ball of blue lightning started to grow and grow before Naruto and Sasuke's eyes. Chidori, yelled the silver-haired Junin as he slammed the lightning ball onto the trees, cutting down the tree to knock down the others like dominoes. That was cool, now let me try, as Naruto activated his Sharingan, pressing his palm only to wow Sasuke and Kakashi, as not only was Naruto making a more bigger and powerful Chidori, but it wasn't blue like Kakashi's, it was actually yellow. Naruto, how are you doing that? It's bigger than Kakashi-sensei and on your first try? Asked a slightly jealous and confused raven-haired teen. I don't know, expressed a nervous Naruto as he then just decided to slam his Chidori to another tree only to blow up 20 miles of trees. After a long silence, Sasuke decided to break the quiet. Guess it's my turn to use it, Chidori. End flashback. So now arrived the two, and as for Naruto, he changed a lot, still with his spiked hair, but now wore beige cargo pants, carried two holsters on his back for his katanas, wore boots instead of the shinobi footwear due to the metal tip to knock the hell out of an opponent. He also wore a black vest with no shirt on the bottom and wore black gloves like Kakashi. Hey Dobi, you know you will get fangirls wearing that, right? Asked Sasuke in a hope you know what you're getting into look. Yeah, this isn't for girls, this is to show how awesome I am, now that I changed, smirked Naruto as he pointed at himself. Well, let's get going, Mr. Awesome, chuckled Sasuke as he waved at Naruto to walk towards the entrance. After you, madam, bowed and laughed Naruto, causing Sasuke, accidentally, kick him only to get his foot caught by Naruto. Better luck next time, as Naruto ran off to only to have a pissed off Uchiha run after him. As soon as they arrived at the door, they were inspected by the two Chunin in the front. State your name and reason for coming, explained Azuma with a flat voice of boredom. I'm Sasuke Uchiha, just recently got back and am here with my brother, Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, the Hokage requests to see both of you. But as soon as he had said it, Naruto and Sasuke rushed to the Hokage tower. With Kakashi and the third. As Sarutobi continued to stare at the clouds, Kakashi poofed into the room. Hokage-sama, I have returned from training the two young boys that you requested of me to do, kneeled Kakashi in respect. Good to hear. So how was the training with those two? An interested Hokage questioned. I think it's best if you put a sound barrier, Hokage-sama, Somebody might hear us. A slightly anxious Kakashi asked. Ah. Sound barrier jutsu. After the barrier was placed, Kakashi started scratching his head in order to tell the Hokage some amazing news. Well, Kakashi-kun, what is it that made you act nervous? It's about Naruto. You see, while Sasuke's training has shown me he will be a great Sharingan user, Naruto on the other hand has the potential to be the first great complete shinobi in history, sighed Kakashi. How can this be, Kakashi-kun? Naruto has never shown potential in other categories, asked a bewildered Sarutobi. Yeah, that's what I thought too, but once he understood the concept of genjutsu and taijutsu, he was able to fight and even win against Sasuke, creating his own fighting styles. I believe if Kurenai and Guy train him, he could become an unstoppable shinobi, along with his Sharingan abilities and the nine-tailed fox powers, expressed Kakashi while being amazed at how Naruto could achieve his Hokage dreams so early. You also forget, young Kakashi, that Naruto still needs to be trained by Jiraiya, his surrogate godfather. Naruto, my boy, you truly have potential to be a legend in the shinobi world, smiled Sarutobi as he puffed his smoke. Yes, but Kakashi, do me one favor. What is it, Hokage-sama? Asked the confused Junin. Danzo must never find out about this until the boy can defend himself, okay? Asked an angry Hokage. Why, yes, sir, waved Kakashi before he vanished out of the room. As soon as the barrier was placed down, the secretary came into the office. Excuse me, Hokage-sama, but Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha are here to see you. Ah yes, let them in. As soon as he did, he was astonished to see Naruto and Sasuke look different than the last time he saw them. Naruto-kun, why are you wearing a face mask like Kakashi's? Naruto just stood smiling until he said, Yes, Kakashi, Tem didn't tell you about my Sharingan situation. No, he didn't, but look at you two, you've changed a lot, said Sarutobi in a semi-shocked expression. Yep, but anyways, Gigi, how come you wanted to see us? Well, Naruto, I've decided to let you and Sasuke into the academy, that is, if you both want that. Sasuke and Naruto just stared and huddled in a corner, having a conversation about joining before they both nodded in agreement. Hokage-sama, we would both accept going to the academy, bowed Sasuke. Very well, class starts soon and your instructor's name is Iruka, so hurry and welcome back both of you. Naruto and Sasuke just ran for their lives until they arrived at the school, which was empty with activity. Hey, no one's here, and here I left my katanas at home, expressed Naruto in a sarcastic, sad tone. Dobi, that's cause we're late for class. Come on, we have to go find this Iruka and his class, sighed Sasuke. Right. As the two walked towards the office, Naruto overheard someone calling the sensei known as Iruka. Hey Tem, his class is room 105, come on, we pass the room, waved Naruto as Sasuke walked towards the class. Iruka was having a bad day. First he had to yell at the Nara for falling asleep, then to Kiba for not allowing him to speak in class. He felt like he was going to collapse in how these kids were not even trying to listen to him. As he turned around to start writing the basics of chakra, a knock on the door was heard and everyone, including Iruka, were startled by the sudden noise in the room. Everyone settle down, I'll check what's going on, stated Iruka as the class began chatting it up. Iruka opened the door to find Sasuke Uchiha, the boy that people said had been missing. Hello, are you Iruka? Asked Sasuke. Why yes, how may I help you? Well, me and my brother Naruto are your new students. We were allowed to join you late by the Hokage. Well, where is Naruto? Huh? Asked Sasuke only to turn around and see no one near him. Dobi, growled Sasuke as he clenched his fist. Well, come on in. Everyone settle down, we have a new student today. His name is Sasuke Uchiha and he will be part of this class. At that the students quiet down a bit, that is until Sasuke-kun, yelled his massive fangirls that included one Ino Yamanaka and Sakura Haruno as they stood up to yell in joy. Shut up. Now settle down or else. But as he walked towards his chair, a poof came up and everyone, including Sasuke, set their eyes on Naruto as he placed his boots on Iruka's desk. Yo! Waved Naruto with a smile. Who are you and why are you on my desk sitting on my chair? An infuriated Iruka asked. Well, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. I like walk in the parks, sitting on chairs, and some sake, smirked Naruto. And Naruto-kun is back. I can't believe it, expressed a certain Hyuga, which should be obvious. Cha, Naruto-kun is even hotter than Sasuke-kun. Stated a certain inner who was having a conflict on who should she go for. Well, take your seats boys and we can start the lesson for today. While Sasuke sat near two unknown boys in the class, Naruto decided to sit near Shikamaru and Choji. Yo! Waved Naruto to both as he sat near them. Hi, my name is Choji. Smiled Choji while placing his hand to shake, which Naruto did. Nice to meet you, you're an Akamichi, huh? Yep. As for you? Asked Naruto while raising an eyebrow at Shikamaru. It's Shikamaru. Lazily answered the Nara while falling asleep. Not much of an afternoon person I see. Smirked Naruto. Yep, was his answer as Shikamaru went back to sleep, slightly annoying Naruto before he shrugged and talked to Choji only to have Iruka angry. Naruto, seeing as you were talking, let me ask you, what is chakra? Fumed Iruka. Well, chakra is a person's energy received from nature that allows a shinobi to perform ninjutsu or genjutsu, sighed Naruto in boredom. Everyone in the class, other than Sasuke, just stood silent at Naruto, who answered it correctly. How did you? Stuttered Iruka, surprised that a new shinobi had already known the answer. Well, a sensei of mine did explain the concept, Iruka sensei. Smiled Naruto, causing a few girls to sigh in admiration at Naruto. As the bell rang for the class to be over, some of the kids had left, only leaving the few including Sasuke and Naruto. Dobi, did you really have to pull a show like you did today? Asked Sasuke as he shook his head in disbelief. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to hear me out, don't belittle my intelligence, chuckled Naruto. As the two began to walk, a certain shy Hyuga thought she was hiding well from both of them. Please come on out, whoever you are, asked Sasuke as he pulled out a kunai. Don't hurt me, I was just you, began Hinata as she panicked at trying to find an answer without sounding crazy. Let her be Tem, she obviously is another of your fangirl, sighed Naruto as he took Sasuke's kunai away. He thinks I'm Sasuke-san's fangirl, thought a poor confused Hyuga. Dobi, she's not my fangirl, sometimes I wonder how smart you really are, thought a slightly frustrated Uchiha. Well, anyways, would you like us to walk you home, Hyuga-san? Asked Naruto in a worried tone. Hinata blushed mighty red at having her crush offer to walk her home. Hi. Stuttered the Hyuga princess as the three walked towards the Hyuga compound. Meanwhile, in the dark alley, a certain man was scheming an evil plot. I know who you are, demon, and I'm going to make sure you don't pass or live when I'm done with you, chuckled the shadow before walking away. As the room began to flood with students, Sasuke had been wondering where Naruto had gone. Little by little he's becoming like Kakashi-sensei, sighed the Uchiha in disappointment. After a long while of chatter, Iruka yelled at the class to be quiet as he, Mizuki and another test Chunin were sitting on their chairs. Okay, first off, congratulations to those who have gotten here, your determination has brought you a long way. Smiled Iruka as he looked around only to drop his joy at seeing one of his students not there. Has anyone seen Naruto? Asked Iruka worriedly. As if on cue, Naruto poofed into the room with a smirk not that anyone could tell due to his mask. Yo! Waved Naruto with a foxy grin. Naruto, where the hell have you been and why are you late? Angrily exclaimed Iruka. Well, I was walking on the road of life when this super cat comes flying and tells me to save the world with him, so I was busy, shrugged Naruto. The entire room fell down at hearing Naruto's lame excuse, which some people were laughing at. Oh no, Naruto is a mini version of Kakashi, like this world needs another, worriedly expressed Iruka. Well, anyways, seeing the lazy boy is here, now there will be a test to see if you all paid attention in class, so first up will be Bushin, followed by Henge, and kunai throwing will be last, finished Iruka as he sat down. After a few hours, the final examiner turned out to be none other than Naruto. Okay, Naruto, do a Bushin, stated Iruka as he wrote some info into the paper. Damn, I'm not good with Bushins, well, might as well try, thought Naruto as he did the hand seals. Bunshin no Jutsu, shouted Naruto as a poof came in only to be a sickly ghost-like clone of Naruto. Sorry Naruto, but you failed, that clone does not have any representation of an actual version of you. Well, let me take the rest of the test, Ibeo. Protested Naruto. Fine, now do a henge, sighed Iruka. After the test was over, Iruka walked out with Naruto as he had finally finished with examining all the students. Naruto, your henge and kunai throwing was excellent, but your inability to make a clone is why you failed. I'm sorry, sadly said Iruka while patting Naruto on the back. Naruto looked down for just a minute before he smirked at Iruka, surprising the young examiner. Don't worry Iruka-sensei, I'm good, next time I'll pass, Dadbeo. Slightly shouted Naruto as he gave Iruka a thumbs up. Good to hear, now run off, chuckled Iruka as he watched Naruto run and wave back at him. For being the container of the fox, he sure is one nice kid, smiled Iruka. A few hours after leaving class, as the sun was winding down over the horizon, Naruto just sat at the top of the Yondaime's head monument as he sighed in slight letdown feeling. "Aw, what's wrong Naruto-kun?" asked a fake worried tone of Mizuki. "Well, I'm a little down about not passing the exams." "Well, I think I could help you with that. I have a side exam for you that if you achieve you pass," smirked Mizuki with evil intentions. "Sweet, I'll take it," answered Naruto enthusiastically as he shook Mizuki's hand. "He thinks I don't know what's he up to. What a jerk," thought Naruto as he grinned at Mizuki. A few minutes after Mizuki had explained his so-called test, Naruto just laid on the fourth Hokage's head before yawning and stretching as he got up. "Well, Hokage-samas, I'm sorry for what I'm about to do, but this traitor Mizuki must be caught by any means necessary," stated Naruto in a serious tone as he saluted the Hokages before he poofed away. Since Naruto knew that the Hokage would be alerted if trying to use some cheap trick like Harem no Jutsu, he decided to create a sleeping powder that went off on the old man as he was trying not to kill him, and as soon as he finished he packed it in his pockets. After a few hours, Naruto had his gears of kunais, powder bombs, and his lucky katanas which he was excited about finally using. "Where are you going, Dobi?" asked a tired Uchiha wearing his PJ as he rubbed his eyes trying to wake up. "Oh, nothing but to catch a traitor. Temo in nice pajamas by the way," smirked Naruto as he grabbed his equipment and started for the door. "What do you mean, Naruto? Shouldn't you let the Anbu catch him?" nervously expressed the Uchiha. "Nope, he wants me and only me, so it's my business for now. Well, have a good sleep and I'll see you tomorrow," chuckled Naruto as he waved before vanishing. In the Hokage Tower, Hiruzen was growing tired of the paperwork. It basically started to take every inch of his energy and the sudden sleepiness of a weight powder. But before the Hokage could react, he knocked out falling asleep, thus allowing Naruto to enter before anyone could realize. "Sorry Gigi, but I have to do this," sighed Naruto as he grabbed the forbidden jutsu scroll and jumped out of the window as he ran to the woods with them, a plan already assembled in case Mizuki tried to screw him over. Hey, I'm ready Mizuki-sensei. I'm not called an unpredictable storm for nothing." "Wait, I only call myself that, oh well," grinned Naruto manically. While arriving, Naruto noticed that nobody, which of course meant Mizuki, was there. He decided to take a peek at the scroll. Here's a good one. "Oh wait," laughed Naruto as he activated his Sharingan to begin ripping off some of the techniques. "Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Okay, one down. Let's see Chakra Kyuan Jutsu. Nice, and what else?" asked Naruto as he continued to look through the scroll as the wind picked up a bit. "Doryu Heki, a nice defensive jutsu. Doryu Juheki, sweet, and one more. Oh, Shuriken Kage Bushin no Jutsu sounds cool," smirked Naruto as he deactivated his Sharingan. As soon as he did, Mizuki arrived with a big evil grin in his face as he slowly walked towards Naruto. "Okay Naruto-kun, give me the..." "Screw you, I already knew you were trying to set me up," smirked Naruto at looking at a flabbergasted Mizuki. "Now the question is why?" tapped Naruto on his chin. "Do you want to know why? It's because you're a demon. You were the reason why thousands died on October 10th. Shouted the angry Chunin. Naruto just sat and got lost in thought before he flipped the traitor right in the face. "Now I can understand being the container of the fox after all. For some reason I get all tingly inside during those cold winter nights," expressed Naruto looking at the stars in a mocking manner, walking back and forth before continuing. "But to assume that a child killed thousands, now that was stupid, but I guess if it lets you sleep at night," sighed Naruto before kicking Mizuki in the face. "You little demon brat," shouted Mizuki. He got up from the kick and touched his lip to see a little bit of blood dripping of him. Oh please can't you come up with something else, or are you as pathetic with your name calling as you're fighting? Chuckled Naruto before getting a kunai launched at him which slightly cut a piece of his forehead's skin. Die Demon. As a battle ensued between a traitor versus the Jinchuriki. Meanwhile at the Hokage Tower. An alarm had been sounded by the Hokage and Iruka had finally arrived where the other Anbu and Junin had been standing waiting for the Hokage for him to finally arrive. We have a problem. The Forbidden Scroll was stolen tonight and from what I remember a sleeping powder knocked me out. Yes, I know it was careless of me, but does anyone have any idea on who could have done this? Asked the Hokage as he looked around. At first not a single person spoke until a Junin raised his hand to have everyone turn around to face him. I noticed the strange activity that Mizuki had for a few months as he constantly walked around the Hokage Tower and his mysterious supply purchasing, and just earlier today I saw him in contact with one Naruto Uzumaki, Hokage-sama. I see. Then if anyone sees Naruto and Mizuki, arrest Mizuki for treason and leave the boy to me, explained Sarutobi as he smoked his pipe. Iruka just rushed towards where Naruto could be in some hectic fashion. I hope you're all right, Naruto, just keep Mizuki busy, thought the Chunin proctor. Back with Mizuki and Naruto. I guess I have no choice but to take you down, Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Naruto exclaimed as thousands of clones appeared ready to fight. Mizuki could only watch helplessly as they cracked their knuckles ready to beat the living hell out of him, but then Naruto watched as Mizuki used a cursed seal of some sorts and blew the clones away as they popped. I guess someone decided to be a hypocrite. Oh well. As Naruto pulled down his mask to reveal the Sharingan to Mizuki, shocking the man. How do you possess the Sharingan? You're not an Uchiha. Shook Mizuki in fear. Well, you see, I was just walking around Konoha when I saw this and I said, Naruto, you have got to have it, and so I installed it and here we are now. Let's see how much you got. Smirked Naruto. Mizuki growled as he charged at Naruto in full speed only to have the boy evade the attack with ease. The battle would last for a while as no one was able to find them, going back and forth as Mizuki called on his power and launched Naruto into a tree before he got attacked from above and Naruto kicked him into the ground. Well, it's my turn. Rasen Fury. As Naruto turned himself into a tornado rocket and launched himself into Mizuki as he quickly used his legs to kick in a spiral and finally launched Mizuki into the air. Naruto Uzumaki's the name. Kicking your is my game. Elated Naruto as he finished off Mizuki with a nasty right hook to the chin, knocking him out and making the cursed seal weak again. Well, now that's done and dealt with, time to tie up this jerk, began Naruto as he opened up his backpack that was placed on the green shining grass as he brought out the rope and tied up Mizuki as perfect as a Christmas gift. As Naruto awaited the arrival of Iruka, he decided to take a nap and to meet this demon he possessed. When Naruto awoke in his mind, he realized one thing. Man, this is a dump. I wish I could change it to more of an ancient castle or something, complained Naruto only to see the surrounding change. Sweet, well, here I go. Hopefully no one will try to burn me to death, sighed Naruto as he walked on the gray cement staring at the candles on the wall, the stink of death and evil rising as Naruto approached the demon's soul. The room Naruto arrived in had a big golden gate, like the one people arrived to go to heaven, and heard a voice. So here is my container. Come a little closer, grinned the demon as Naruto walked towards him only to try slash Naruto, but he caught the paw and slammed it on the floor, causing the demon to grow in pain. Listen up, you big turd. No one intimidates me, I only scare myself, not you or Shinigami or anyone scares me. Do you got it? Exclaimed Naruto as he stared eye to eye with the demon. You little fool, if I was out of this cage I would. You would kill me and make me feel pain. Ooh, I'm so scared. Shut the hell up. You're caged, so deal with it, and by the way, I feel like you should have a nice room, but I won't, so there. Smirked Naruto as he flipped Kyuubi off. Brave little fool, I'll give you that, but anyways, why do you bother me? Asked Kyuubi, annoyed to have been awoken. I need some of your chakra. I think you could help me unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, buttface, sighed Naruto as he saw the demon turn around. I despise that bloodline for reasons I shall not tell you, but I need a Jinchuriki to strongly represent who I am, so therefore I shall grant you your stupid demand, but realize I do not like you, hissed Kyuubi. I know, dumbass, you and hundreds of people don't. I'm cool with it, lazily expressed Naruto while placing his arms around his head. Very well, but do not bother me for such trivial matter. Now leave, I must think, shouted the fox. Right. Like you're smart enough to think except oh wait you got yourself captured in me, smirked Naruto. Leave, growled the fox loudly making in his inner thought powerful winds though Naruto just stretched like it was nothing. Okay geez you're such a drama queen, laters, waved Naruto as he awoke to see Mizuki still out and pulled out a good book he had gotten from Kakashi. Naruto what the hell? Asked Iruka in wonderment at seeing Mizuki out cold with Naruto sitting beside him as he read his favorite Ika Ika book. Yo Iruka-sensei what is going on? Asked Naruto sarcastically. How did you? Well what happened here? I guess I should start at the beginning. When a mommy and daddy hate each other they decide to mate to create something so horrible they both can cheat on each other and thus is the creation of Mizuki, expressed Naruto lazily as he laid on the tree while Iruka laughed at the joke. Well I better take Mizuki to the Anbu interrogation building but you take back the forbidden scroll and talk to the Hokage. Will do Iruka-sensei. Waved Naruto as he poofed away leaving Iruka in amazement. The next day, the sun was rising and a new beginning was in store for Sasuke as he woke up, brushed his teeth, changed into his clothes and fixed his bed before he walked downstairs and saw Naruto sitting on the chair. Good morning Tem, yawned an exhausted Naruto as he stretched after all the activity he had done last night. Dobi where the hell have you been you look like you went to war or something, expressed Sasuke in astonishment. You don't even know the half of it but let's get going I have to go with you to get my new headband and I'll explain it to you on the way, said Naruto stoically. So after the explanation, Sasuke found himself a little jealous but also impressed at how his brother was getting stronger. That sounds like you went through hell but let me ask you why did you say that Mizuki wanted you only? Asked Sasuke curiously. Well I contain the nine-tailed fox who obviously attacked Konoha and killed thousands thus he along many blame me for their family's deaths, shrugged Naruto as he didn't care what Sasuke or anyone thought of him. Poor Dobi I thought I was the only one to go through hell but let me stop your inner thoughts for a moment and tell you not to feel bad for me. If no one can figure the difference between a human and a demon then I don't care what they think of me or what they did in the past, I'm not letting them get to me, and besides this topic is a downer I'm a happy, violent, awesome shinobi and thus don't need pity got it Tem? Asked Naruto as he shrewdly looked at Sasuke. Got it Dobi? Smirked Sasuke as he mockingly waved at Naruto. Troublesome, let's go, shouted Naruto as they raced to see who was more awesome. As soon as the class was about to be settled down, Naruto and Sasuke arrived to make the fangirls squeal in delight and the boys except Shika, Choji, and Shino groan and some remarks of jealousy. Do I smell jealousy in the room? No wait that's me, said Naruto as he smelled himself before chuckling at the girls who called him gross. As Sasuke was forced to sit near Ino and Sakura with tears in his eyes, Naruto sat in between Shika and Hinata. Yo! Waved Naruto towards Shikamaru and Hinata. Hello and Naruto-kun, stuttered the poor shy princess. Hey! Wait Naruto what are you doing here they only allow the people who passed the exam in here, asked a confused Shikamaru. Oh Shikamaru they grew to realize that it isn't a party without the number one smart of the class. Smiled Naruto at Shika. Troublesome, mumbled Shikamaru as he took a nap. Now how will you be able to get a boyfriend with that type of language? Smirked Naruto to see Shikamaru react. What? Asked an angry Shikamaru before Iruka told him to sit down and shut up. Troublesome, sighed Shikamaru. Well he's going to be ignoring me for a while so, how are you Hinata-san? Asked Naruto as he grinned at her. Hinata just was having a hard time speaking to the boy that she admired so much that all she did was pass out. Well I hope she's alright, I guess I'm going to have to kiss her, smirked Naruto as he said it loud enough for Hinata to wake up from her dreams and shrieked scaring the class including Iruka who was still talking about honor and crap like that. Well that did the trick, welcome back to the living Hinata-san, smiled Naruto at a purple like grapes blushing Hinata. Gomen Nasai, en Naruto-kun, whispered the paled Kunoichi as she looked on the floor in shame. It's all right Hinata-chan no need to lower your head, chuckled Naruto as he placed his arm over her causing the girl to pass out again. Well this could be trouble if we're on the same team, sighed Naruto as he turned to hear Iruka started naming the teams. Okay here are the last remaining teams, Team 7 will consist of Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and lastly Sasuke Uchiha, and your team sensei will be, oh boy, Kakashi Hatake, sighed Iruka as he knew this could be bad. After naming where the passing students would go, each of the teachers had arrived as the last ones were Hinata, Naruto and Sasuke. So I guess we're all teammates huh? Asked Sasuke as he looked at Hinata and Naruto. Yup, and you know that Hiashi will not like this setup one bit, shook Naruto's head in slight fear. What do you mean Naruto-kun? Asked the frightened Hyuga as she clasped her hands together. Well, the Hyugas and Uchihas have never really liked each other. In fact, they despise each other, and this could have your old man snapping at everyone, sighed Naruto, thinking of a troublesome situation coming up. Hinata began to shiver terribly, thinking of her father as he punished her harshly for ending up with the Uchiha. Dobi, quit being an and stop scaring her, shouted Sasuke as he threw Naruto a chalk. Sorry Hinata-chan, but don't worry, me and Tem over here we'll protect you, and that is a promise, Dadbayo. Smiled Naruto underneath his blue navy mask as he gave her a thumbs up, making her blush. Yeah, the Dobi's right, you're our teammate, we'll help. And how come you still use that damn word? Asked an annoyed Uchiha. Cause it makes you wet your bed, because it annoys you, that's why, Ibayo. Chuckled Naruto before Sasuke launched himself at Naruto, trying to beat the crap the Dadbayo out of him. Hinata just looked at each other before she chuckled at their antics, happy to be in a kind team and with the love of her life, not noticing a certain Junin smiling in the entrance. Kakashi just sat there a bit surprised to see 3 bloodline users on his team, but just shrugged it off, knowing the rift Hiashi will cause once he finds out his daughter is teamed up with the Uchiha in the demon container. Okay, so how about we introduce ourselves? You go first, princess. Tell us your likes, dislikes, hobbies, pointed Kakashi at Hinata, who blushed in embarrassment. Well, I'm Hinata Hyuga, my L likes ART training, M making M medical C cream, and mumbled and blushed profoundly Hinata, only to have Sasuke and Kakashi smirk, knowing full well that she had a crush on the idiot blonde. My D dislikes ART those W who B belittle A and U underestimate O others. My G goal I is T to B become S stronger A and I impress S someone, stuttered the Hyuga princess as she poked her fingers. Very nice, okay Sasuke, your turn, pointed Kakashi lazily. My name is Sasuke Uchiha, I like to fight, train and use the Sharingan on my opponents. My goal is to stop the man who killed my entire family and to protect my idiot brother Naruto and to revive the Uchiha clan, bowed Sasuke politely as he sat down next to Naruto. Like we need a clan of emos in this world, sighed the blonde Sharingan user, only to have Sasuke try to tackle him in anger before Kakashi separated them. Sasuke, that's enough. Naruto, seeing as your smart mouth won't shut up, you can tell us about yourself. Kakashi I smiled. Fine, but that doesn't mean that I want to anyways. Name's Naruto Uzumaki, my likes training, kicking Tems. Hanging out with pretty girls like yourself Hinata-san, paused Naruto as he smirked, looking at a flustered Hinata who was ready to pass out. Also like is gardening, some delicious ramen and dango, and once in a while sake. As Naruto said this, the 3 looked at Naruto wide-eyed. Hey, I'm an orphan, I run my own life, do what I want when I want anyways. Dislikes, hate arrogant jerks, spoiled prince or princess and sadistic people. My hobbies: play a prank here and there, talk smack, play shugi with Shika and make fun of Kiba's stupid painted face. My goal is to be the best shinobi in the world, and see where it takes me, maybe a new adventure or a dangerous mission, who knows. Shrugged Naruto as he finished by pulling out a book that Sasuke and Kakashi knew too well. Dobi, is that the new Ika Ika? Drooled Sasuke. Yep. It's called Ika Ika Let's Get Down and Dirty, a pretty good book. Smirked Naruto as he read on, only to have a confused Hinata ask to them, what's Ika Ika? Only to have silence answer her. Kakashi coughed to get everyone's attention, who looked like they were going to stay silent all day. Anyways, we have nothing today planned, but I suggest you get to know each other, as tomorrow you will have an exam. Oh, and don't eat anything or else you won't be effective. Kakashi lamented as the 3 shinobi nodded in agreement. Laters, and Naruto, where did you get that excellent book? Asked a curious Kakashi. At Rayon's Book of Excellence store, I think, thought Naruto as he flipped his book, only to have Kakashi vanish in a flash. After a while of talking on the bridge, the 3 shinobi decided to head out to Ichiraku's ramen stand. So does anyone one have an idea as to what the exam is going to be about? Sasuke as he looked back and forth between Hinata and Naruto. Knowing Ero Baka, he's probably going to do something stupid like bells or something like that, sighed Naruto. Naruto-kun yus shouldn't T talk B badly A about K Kakashi sensei L like T that, shyly expressed Hinata, worried she might upset her beloved for what she said. Yeah, you're right, but still I get this foreboding feeling we are going through hell and back just to pass again, which in the famous words of Shikamaru, it's going to get troublesome, said Naruto while closing his eyes in thought. I hear that, exclaimed Sasuke as Team 7 arrived at the ramen stand as Sasuke sat to Naruto's left and Hinata sat on Naruto's right. Ohio Ayame-chan, old man, waved Naruto as he smiled at his favorite people. Hello Naruto-kun, how have you been? Asked the female who looked to be in her 20s. Pretty good, me and Tem here passed. Oh, and Naruto sat up as he walked behind Hinata as he introduced her, this our teammate Hinata Hyuga. Oh Ohio, said a meek Hinata. Hello, it's nice to meet you, smiled Ayame at Hinata before she walked into the back of the stand. Well, let's get to ordering and eating, chuckled Naruto. After dinner, the three had finished their meals, which only Naruto pigged out. They started heading for the Hyuga compound to drop off Hinata. Well, I still have to go see Gai Sensei and Kurenai Sensei about what type of training I'll be doing, said an exhausted Naruto. Be careful when you're out, Dobi. Don't want the past troubles to happen again, explained Sasuke as he hands in his pockets. Past T troubles. Naruto-kun W, what D does T that M mean? Asked the worried princess. Well, there was this problem where a Chunin tried to get me in trouble by convincing me that if I stole the forbidden scroll I would pass my class, but I took him down to hell and got my headband, smirked Naruto. Dobi, elbowed Sasuke, why do you have to always reveal everything to everyone? We don't want to get Hinata-san in the danger you got yourself in, stated the frustrated Uchiha. Hey, that's nothing, I could tell her about the creature I have inside, said Naruto, giving Sasuke the foxy grin. Sasuke looked shocked once again. Naruto would tell Hinata something that might scare her away from the team. Why you have AAC creature I inside of you? Don't you understand, Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata as she tilted her head to show confusion. Yep, you see, I'm a Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox known as Kyuubi no Kitsune, the bastard who attacked the Hidden Leaf Village, said Naruto comically. Thought why Yondaime-sama K killed T the D-demon F fox, expressed the frightened Kunoichi. You can't kill the undead, silly, but I digress. I told you this because you're my teammate and I have to be honest with was all Naruto could say before Hinata lunged herself at Naruto with tears in her eyes. Oh Naruto-kun, I'm so sorry, you must have lived a lonely life, sobbed Hinata, only to have Naruto release himself from her as he wiped tears from her eyes as Sasuke just looked on in total silence. Sorry brother, but I just got some things to blackmail you for. Sasuke chuckled inwardly. Now listen Hinata-chan, don't feel bad for me. Yes, I went through hell, but it also gave me the strength to survive, to continue fighting, and for that I am happy. You must understand that in life, things like love, friendship and even your humanity have a cost, and sometimes you won't be given those things, so you fight with every inch of your body. I managed to find a brother in Sasuke, and surely I still got ways to go before I'm happy, but I'll get there. Right now I'm satisfied with life, so please no tears, okay? Asked Naruto calmly as Hinata's tears stopped. Oh okay, Naruto-kun I won't see cry, stated Hinata as she wiped her face clean. Good, and we also need to work on your confidence. It's been shot down to a very low level, but by the time Tem and me finish you'll be able to fight anyone you want, have any guy you want with confidence, smiled Naruto, only to have Sasuke laughing in the background. What are you laughing at, Tem? Asked an annoyed blonde looking ready to beat an Uchiha's to the ground. Nothing, go on, waved Sasuke. Anyways, let's get going. Your old man will be pissed that you're with the demon container and Uchiha, and getting there late won't help things, sighed Naruto as the three walked towards the Hyuga compound. Hinata worried, would her father be furious with her being with an Uchiha and Naruto, and if so, what was he going to do to her beloved Naruto-kun, her friend Sasuke and herself? She shuddered and gulped at what the catastrophe could happen if Naruto and Sasuke joined her. Naruto-kun, Sasuke-san maybe I should g go h home b by m myself s so t the b both o of y u d don't g get I in t trouble w with m my o otusan, stuttered Hinata. Relax, how mad can he possibly? But Sasuke was rudely interrupted by a cough as the three teens looked at the front door to see a fuming Hyuga. Oh Otusan, I, shook the girl in fear as he pointed her towards her house as saying to go inside. You are not allowed to speak, so go inside, you will be punished for this sickening alliance with the Uchiha, sternly said Hiashi as he gave Sasuke and Naruto a dirty look. What the hell are you looking at, old geezer? Fumed Naruto. How dare you speak like that to me, you little demon, do you know who I am? Asked a bewildered Hiashi. Yeah, an asshole who needs to get his butt kicked, growled the young Jinchuriki as he was being held back by Sasuke because Naruto wanted to show the Hyuga head leader his friend Punchy McGee and Buster Lips. So you think you can defeat me, foolish little twerp? Asked the arrogant Hyuga as he walked towards Naruto before looking down at the young blonde shinobi. Naruto looked at him and then analyzed the situation before he calmed down. No, not yet anyways, but when I do you'll pay for what you're going to do to Hinata. I know you're kind. Your type of fatherly love is to discipline poor Hinata-chan just because she had tried her best. No, the time will come, Hyuga Tem, and you'll learn to respect your daughter. Naruto expressed with a type of poise that had Hiashi slightly impressed. Sasuke just smirked seeing his brother progress right in front of his eyes before the both teens walked away as Hiashi walked back to his house preparing to punish the poor princess. Meanwhile with Sasuke and Naruto. Dobi, are you sure that he's? I'm more than sure. I've seen it before, Tem, that bastard is going to take it out on Hinata-chan, but it's just another thing for me to take care of, said Naruto as they both silently walked home, saddened as they could slightly hear the shouts of pain in the distance of the cool breeze of the night. Naruto looked back with profound determination that he would save Hinata from her father, and that was a promise he meant to keep. Later in the evening, Naruto had told Sasuke he had to go meet his sensei, so the blonde left the Uchiha state as he walked towards the Junin apartment looking for this man called Maida Guy. Knocking on the door, Naruto waited until he saw a man with green spandex and black shiny bowl-shaped hair open the door with a big creepy smile on his face while looking at Naruto. Yush, you are youthful Naruto-kun, are you not? Asked the eerie Junin. Yeah, who else could it be? Sarcastically said Naruto, not knowing what he just did. Ooh, such a hip attitude like Kakashi, you would be an excellent rival of Lee's. Proclaimed the green beast of Konoha. Yeah, whatever, anyways, I was wondering if you could train me in the art of taijutsu. I believe if I can learn more I can become a balanced shinobi, so I don't rely on just one part of a skill, so my enemies won't be able to come up with a strategy against me so easily. I want to be able to use all aspects of being a shinobi, so I have come to ask if you could train me, Guy-sensei. Asked an exasperated Naruto. Guy thought for a moment before he nodded in agreement. Naruto-kun, that is a most wise choice you have made, and therefore I shall help you achieve your goal, but know that you will have to be at your strongest, for I shall not be easy on you. I expect 100% from you. Do I make myself clear? Asked Guy in a rare serious tone, slightly intimidating Naruto. Hi, I understand, Guy-sensei. Bowed Naruto. Good, then let's take our youthful selves and begin practice. As Guy got his weights and with Naruto walked away to the training area to begin an intense training. The next day, Sasuke had just finished practicing his taijutsu and meditating when Naruto arrived, once again looking exhausted and beaten up. Yo Dobi, you got your butt whooped by Guy-sensei, didn't you? Smirked the Uchiha as he watched Naruto collapse to the floor. It was hell, freaking weights. Exhaled Naruto as he had trouble with getting air from all the training he had. Naruto, you do know we have to get going and meet with Hinata-san to talk strategy on how to pass the exam, right? Curiously asked Sasuke to see the reaction of the blonde Jinchuriki. Nani? Oh man, I forgot about that, whined Naruto as he walked towards the kitchen sink, washed his face and ran back. Come on, Sasuke, let's get going or else I'm going to fall asleep on the floor, said a sluggish Naruto as both the young teens walked early in the morning preparing for a fight. When they arrived and noticed that no one had arrived, Sasuke began reading his tomato gardening book and Naruto took a nap. A few minutes later, Hinata arrived with a bruise in her eye as Sasuke looked up from his book to see her shyly walk towards. Hinata-san, what happened to you? Asked a bewildered Uchiha. My Ootusan P punished me F for ending you up in T team S7A and B being H home L late, fearfully expressed the young Hyuga. I apologize Hinata-san for taking you home so late. If it wasn't for me and the Dobi you wouldn't have been in trouble, said Sasuke as he patted Hinata on the back. It's okay. IIH had F fun, smiled Hinata before she looked around. Where is Naruto-kun? The Dobi is taking a nap. He went training last night and didn't come back home till just this morning, sighed Sasuke as he looked towards the tree branch where Naruto slept on. As the hours passed by, the sun rose from the east. Sasuke grew irritated. Hinata nearly fell asleep until Naruto woke up stretching and yawning out loud for both of his teammates to hear. Yo, Kakashi Tem isn't here yet? Asked the refreshed shinobi. Nope, and I'm just about to go crazy and kill him for this damn wasting time jerk, growled Sasuke. I see. Oh Hinata-chan, good to see you, smiled Naruto under his mask. Oh oheo, Naruto-kun, waved the timid girl with a blush on her face. After a while of silence, Naruto started whistling only to have Sasuke throw a rock at him. What do you want, face? Sighed Naruto. How was the training with Guy-sensei, Blondie? Asked the always getting in people's business Uchiha. Well, it went sorta like this. Flashback no jutsu. Naruto and Guy had arrived in the plane training area as both had their fighting gear ready for the training. Yosh, the first thing I need to see is your fighting stance, so show me what you have, Naruto-kun. Naruto just shrugged before he got into a normal stance and placing his hands upward and his fist tightening as he looked at his sensei. That is a most terrible fighting stance, Naruto-kun. You must have your feet a few inches more apart and there is no need for the fists to be curled. Your legs and feet can do much damage, but I see you'll need more strength training, so I believe we will start with 50 pounds on your ankles and wrist, then move up so it can increase your strength and stamina. Guy tossed the weights and Naruto placed them on his ankles and wrists. Yosh, now Naruto-kun, you must run 100 laps around Konoha, smiled Guy as he looked at a flabbergasted Naruto. Hi, sensei, sighed Naruto as he took off into the village as Guy ran beside him. After an hour and a half, Naruto began to get tired as he slowly walked back towards Guy. Yosh, my excellent student, you have mastered the 200 pounds of weight, so now I shall have you do kicking exercises, said Guy as he gave Naruto the thumbs up while Naruto just gave him a dirty look. Yes, Guy-sensei, mockingly said Naruto as he began kicking the tree that Guy had assigned him for about 2 more hours. As Naruto began huffing and puffing with exhaustion, Guy looked disappointed at Naruto. Naruto-kun, you should have more stamina than what you've shown me. It seems our training has got to get even more youthful, so tomorrow we will add from 200 pounds to 400 pounds and have my precious student Lee spar with you, explained Guy as he saw Naruto stand up wearily. For now we have finished for today. See you tomorrow, my youthful student, waved Guy as he vanished, leaving Naruto to have to limp his way home. End flashback. That's what happened, sighed Naruto as he laid on his arms on the tree branch. Holy hell, that sounded super vicious, Dobi, said the surprised Uchiha. Yep, it was torture, and today I have to go see him, as a friend of mine would say it is going to be very bad, smiled Naruto before he felt him. Well, better be prepared. Kakashi-sensei's about to arrive, said Naruto as he waited patiently to hear any sudden noise that could give Kakashi away. Now, said Naruto as Kakashi poofed in with a wave before he noticed all of them. Yo, today is your Genin exam, and as an exam you 3 will be trying to take these, stated Kakashi as he pulled out 2 bells from his pockets, as what you will be trying to take from me, only 2 will be able to pass, so when I say go, come at me with killing intent, lazily ordered Kakashi. This is about the dumbest test I've ever had in my life. Obviously it's about teamwork. Geez, I give too much credit to this so-called Junin, thought Naruto as he shook his head in disappointment. Ready, go, exclaimed Kakashi as Naruto, Hinata and Sasuke disappeared into the forest. The 3 shinobi looked across from where Kakashi was as they sat on the branches. Yo, Tem, got any ideas on how to get the bells from Kakashi-sensei? Asked Naruto. Maybe, but I'm going to need the 2 of you, pointed Sasuke at Naruto and Hinata. What do you need F for UST to do? Asked the young Hyuga princess as Naruto too looked confused. Sasuke just smirked as they began hard at work with a plan to get the bells from Kakashi. Meanwhile, with Kakashi, the silver-haired Junin just sat on a branch and sighed at the sudden serene silence of the training area as he pulled out his book. I wonder if those three realized it's about teamwork, and if they did, they sure are going to be a great team, smiled inwardly Kakashi as he pulled out his book. A few hours later, Kakashi just stretched as he looked down to see a crying Hinata and slowly jumped down. What's wrong, Hinata-san? It's N Naruto-kun and S Sasuke-san G got I into AA fight A and T they S started you using S some S strange L lighting A attack. I see, thought Kakashi before he nodded, let us go, as the two raced off to where Sasuke and Naruto were, fighting. Nice try, Naruto, Sasuke, but I can see through your disguise, was about to smirk Kakashi before he saw what was behind the henge of grass, which was Naruto's two Oryoku no Jutsu clones making out, thus causing him to have his first ever massive nosebleed. As everything poofed away, Sasuke and Hinata stared dumbfounded at Naruto, who was just shaking his head. Baka, what did you do to get arrow Kakashi nose bleeding? Asked Sasuke as he placed his hand on his forehead. Naruto just waved his finger and grabbed the bells before looking back at both his teammates. Well, looks like we passed the exams, so let's go get some ramen, everyone, smiled Naruto as Team 7 prepared to have a good night. The next day, a thirst for blood was on the face of Sasuke and Naruto, and for one reason only, Tora the bastard cat. It had managed to mess up Sasuke's